Because like based on like it's really good, and yet it has it's a really like he dug up his mother's grave, dressed it in,
That's disturbing. That's freaking disturbing.
dressed it in, and like carry it around like it's real, and then like his half brother comes by, like he's like, no, Norman, I have to go to the mental institution because his mother's going to vomit.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Summer.
That's creepy.
Summer. Jonathan.
Hey, Leslie.
Jonathan.
Leslie. Oh.
Brittany. Justin.
Hey,
Justin B. Marlene.
Here.
Kevin.
Here.
Amelia. Lee.
Here.
James.
here.
Lindsay.
Here.
Damien. Here. Cameron.
Here.
Kenzie.
Here.
Justin. Here. Sierras.
Here.
Xander.
Here.
Brendan.
Here.
CJ.
Here.
Houston. Cassidy. Victor.
Here.
Bonnie. Igrom. Here. Caesar.
Here.
James.
Yep.
Peter.
Here.
Leslie.
Here.
Reese. Julius.
Here.
Aubrey. Alexis. Miranda. Dora.
Here.
Louis.
Here.
Caden.
Here.
Amanda. Brandon. Rafael. Moises. Moises. Ariel.
Here.
Paige.
Here.
Cassandra.
Here.
Sterling. Sterling. Gabriel.
Here.
Michael.
Here.
Michaela.
Here.
Lox.
Here.
Huron.
Here.
You know, this croissant is really delicious. And because of it, I'm able to resist such temptations. It's flaky baked goodness, man.
Croissants are really good.
Oh, yeah. And the
Better. Chocolate.
yeah.
Just
Oh, what if you combine the two?
actually you have.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What I'm talking about.
I'm like, that already exists, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Some people forget.
Yeah. Gotta get some, man.
Final NCR lecture.
It's so awesome.
Is it exciting? Scary?
Yep.
With everything?
It's good.
I kind of wish you had more time.
As the full sail line.
I wish we had what? I wish this class was 5 days a week.
I don't.
Nope, 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 nope. Don't speak such things.
All right.
Don't
so
speak such
And
today,
they would have had more asked.
we are going to be talking
True,
about
true. But
how
I
the
don't
milestone
know.
course will be delivered.
Hello, hello, hello.
It's a little bit different from milestone 1 through 3. Grading expectations, all that kind of fun
Oh,
stuff
wait,
to
I
make
don't
sure
know.
that you can bundle your stuff up and spit it in a way to maximize your score. Alright? Alright. So I'm sure by now you're well aware,
It's pretty busted.
Jared told you on the Thursday or Tuesday, whatever it was, that I create this content instead of the studio artists. So I'm going to be the end client in this case.
Because what's your
We're going to be looking at everything. Right? So just like the milestone 3 where you put all your content into that kitchen scene to deliver, it's going to be the same song and dance here. Only catch is I only want the kitchen scene. I don't want all the other files.
Okay.
We'll look into that. So, obviously, read the LMS. The LMS is everything I'm going to go over today, minus the example. But it's all in here, and there are going to be a few key notes to keep track of. So the first thing's going to be important is going to be the file size. So realistically speaking, your final Maya file should be around 50 megabytes. That's the general expectation. Now it can be a little variant, a little bit under, a little bit over, that's all fine. If it gets over 150 megabytes, way too big. Do you know why the file might be over 150 megabytes?
If you get those
Awesome. If you include your high-res meshes in your scene, your file's going to get real big.
That's terrible.
like I said, most files are going to be around 50 megabytes. Every once in a while we see one that's legitimately around 150, but if you start creeping close to that, or around 100, if you start creeping close to that 150 mark, you probably have meshes that are too high res in your scene.
Is there a way to check for that?
Save your file, go into the Finder, and just check your info.
Okay.
So there you can actually. So depending on how your file is, or your Finder is set up, actually we can just, if I click on it here, you can see this file is 270 kilobytes. If you don't have your set up to kind of preview like this, you can just right click on it and go get info. And then in the thing that pops up, you can see right there, 270 kilobytes. So as long as it's under 150 megabytes, you're all right. But like we were saying, the only reason why you should ever be anywhere near that is if you have your high-res meshes in it, right? So a low-res mesh is not 100,000 polygons in this case. So we want to make sure we keep our low-reses low and delete the high-reses out, keep the file size nice and light. All right, the evaluation. So most of what we're looking at, you can see art 60%, right? Does your asset look like that asset, right? Does your steak look like a lumpy potato, or does it look like a steak? Now that's what I'm looking at here. Does it look good? Does it look like what it's supposed to look like? Got 30% is technical. Shouldn't be any surprises here, right? Built-in pieces, problem geometry, all that kind of fun stuff. Also UVs, right? UVs are going to be very important here. We'll see when we get into the grade doc, kind of how that breaks down and why that's so important. And of course, the icing on the cake, the easy points, right? Did you name all your nodes? Are they frozen? History deleted? All the normal admin stuff that gets annoying while you're working, right? May seem nitpicky, but these are the things that annoy your coworkers when you start passing files around. When you import an object into the scene, it imports based on your pivot point. So if your pivot point's way off over here, and all of a sudden I import it, that goes to the origin, now your mesh is way off in space, somebody's going to get annoyed, right? So all this stuff seems like administrative nonsense, but these are the things that make sure that the pipeline runs smoothly, and you don't have any problems as you pass your assets around. Not to mention there's a benefit too. If you name your nodes, and I go to critique it, and I'm like, hey, this node, you know, like steak, bone, mesh, has a problem, you know what I'm talking about. But if it's named polycube1, I'm like, hey, polycube1 has NGOT. And then you go to look at your scene, you're like, well, which one's polycube1? Right, so it helps for us talking about them as well. Grouping and display layers. I'm hoping most people got this right on the milestone 3. It's the same thing. Just add another group, milestone 4, put all your stuff in that group for milestone 4. Same thing with display layers, milestone 4, display layer. Do you know why this is important?
Organization.
Why does it matter?
So people have to the pipeline.
Yeah. So obviously this makes it easier to dig through your scene. Since I'm going to spend a lot of time digging through everybody's scene, this is going to be important. So I don't have to hunt for your milestone 4 stuff. Right? I can just know everything about that layer and know exactly where it's at. If I don't see it still, I can go in your outliner, grab that group, frame on it, and be like, okay, well, where are these assets? So if your stuff is organized, it makes it easy for me to go through and find it. If I can't find it, you think I can grade it? Exactly. So we want to make it easy to find. Grouping and display layer is going to be the way to do that. All right. So we are going to be delivering all of the assets that we worked on this month. Obviously, our folder is going to get a little bit full of stuff, right? So we got our group folder. It's going to be that the last semester, first name MCR, milestone 4, all that kind of fun stuff. Then inside that, let's actually see if we can get this a little bigger. Okay. You're going to have your self-assessment sheet. It's that Excel document in the milestone 4. Right, download that. We'll talk about that in a second. References folder. What do you think goes in the references folder? Assets. Scenes folder. Then it goes in there. How many scenes?
Just the one.
Beautiful. Just the one. One Maya file. That's all I want. One Maya file. Just the kitchen scene with all your stuff in it. I don't want your interim, the stuff you're working on, your high-res loadout files. I don't want any of that. I just want one Maya file. What do you think goes in the source images folder? What are our source images?
Is it our normal?
Your normals. Yeah. The ones you picked are the references.
Oh.
Yeah, source images is your normal maps. Do you know why it's called source images? Are there any guesses? Why is it called normals?
That's a little bit.
What is that?
Don't you need to like load in the scene?
Yeah, you will have to source them into the scene. Realistically, that's because the people at Maya decided that the default folder name should be called source images, and we just follow suit. Alright, then we got our workspace.mal. Do you know what that file is?
It allows for the Maya to recognize the folder as the workspace area.
Awesome. Yeah, that's the gatekeeper to the Maya project. If you don't have that, when I go to set the project, Maya's going to go, there's no project here. You can't set it. And when I go to open your project, your normal maps aren't going to load in. They can't set the project. So we want to make sure that file's in there, so that way when I actually load in your file, your project, all your stuff becomes visible. Alright. So this is just all those folders opened up. So now the naming convention here isn't exactly written in stone. Honestly, I prefer if your reference images kept their original names, toaster, oven, whatever. But a folder for every milestone. Once again, so I don't have to go through 100 pictures to figure out which one is, the state picture or whatever. One Maya file, then your maps down at the bottom. Let's jump over to the self-assessment. So self-assessment sheet's going to be this one right here. Right? Student assessment. Score. And here's what it looks like. Have you guys had self-assessment sheets before? Pretty efficacious. Do you know why we do these? What was that?
Make sure you have.
So making sure you have everything is good. But I mean, you probably just look and count. Is there any benefit to you to filling this out?
If we know something's wrong, we can go and fix it ahead of time.
Fantastic. So the real benefit of this, if you take the time to appreciate it, is that you can take a step away from your work, do it a little bit more objectively, and kind of decide where you're at in your growth as an artist. Right? If you don't know where you're failing as an artist, where you're falling behind, you don't know where to work on to get better. So if you're like, everything's 100, 100, I'm done. If everything's 100, why are you even here? You obviously know this stuff, go get a job, you're done. Right? So even professionals take a step back from the work every now and again, look at it, try to decide where they're at. What am I doing really good at? What am I doing really bad at? Obviously, this puts it in the buckets for what we're looking at in MCR. That's what we're concerned with right now. But this is your opportunity to take a step back, look at your work, and try to decide, am I improving? Am I growing as an artist? That's our goal here, right? We want to get better as artists, so hopefully eventually we can get a job and work on awesome stuff and get paid to do it, and all that kind of stuff. All right, so this particular document is going to help demystify, hopefully, the grading process for MCR. You can see we've got everything broken down, what we're looking for, primary and secondary forms. It's 30% of our art assessment. We can just look at it, right? All or almost all of the shapes, you're good. Right? This is your chair, looks like your chair. Your steak looks like not just some lumpy shape, but the steak. All right, that's that 90 to 100. Then as you kind of deviate, it works its way down, as you might expect. So before you submit everything, just take a minute, pour yourself a cup of coffee or, whatever your thing is. Just go through this and try to decide, where do I live? And be honest, because there's no benefit in just lying to yourself and filling this out. Right? You can just be like, I'm tired of this, save it, move on. That's not going to help you grow as an artist. Right? Tertiary details, same kind of thing. Your details look like what they're supposed to, right? The noise on the side of the cake looks like cake, not like steak, or something like that. I'm just going to go through, and if you really work this and you start putting in the values, you'll notice it starts calculating the grade. So I find people who take the time, kind of honestly, to do their work, usually land pretty close to where they're at. So when I grade your work, I'm going to be pulling this document up and kind of seeing where you think you're at, and hopefully those are pretty close. If you're at where you think you're at, and that's where you end up landing, you're probably on a pretty good place. You can see your weaknesses, you can see your strengths, you know how to grow. if you end up saying you get 100 and everything, and then you end up not getting 100 and everything, there's probably a blind spot somewhere. That could be valuable, knowing that there's something you're not seeing, but you're going to have to work even harder than to try to figure out what it is. The only place that really kind of falls off the map sometimes is professionalism, because obviously most people think they froze everything, right? Most people think they deleted history, but I'll show you a shortcut on how to help ensure that you get all this stuff cleaned up. And then we have our level of completion. I don't think they had this kind of aspect in 3F, so it might be new to you. But basically, all of the other buckets deal with quality, right? Are your shapes good? Is your stuff placed good? Are the proportions solid? This deals with quantity. Were you able to deliver the number of assets we asked of you? If you did, you're here. Notice the numbers here are a little off. We actually updated the numbers just recently, so this document's not quite updated yet. But it's 3 ZBrush props, not 4. Right? 4 for week 1, 3, 3, 3, 3. So as long as you get that, you're solid. But the key takeaway here is to get 100 on level of completion, you need all of your ZBrush props. Right? All 3 props, UV'd and normal mapped. You don't have them in there, you're going to miss out on that 100 for level of completion. And then as you walk down, you kind of work your way down here. Now, if you missed a prop in one of the earlier milestones, let's say you only got 2 checked off instead of 3, as long as there's something in there that's not just like a cube, I'm not going to look too closely at your milestone 1, 2, and 3. I just want to see that there's something in there. Right, so there was some acknowledgement. Your client asked you for 3 props a week, except for week 1, which is 4. I want to see that there's something in there for each one of those props. Does that make sense? Alright, let's talk a little bit about the grading process. You can see here we've got a tool that we use to help grade, help facilitate grading these assets. Just going to hit load directory and drill down here and actually find my demo. It's going to find the Maya files and load them in. Now, if you include a bunch of Maya files and they don't have your name on them, I'm not going to know who they belong to. Because it's going to load in and I'm just going to see stake Maya, whatever. So make sure you only include that one file and it's just the one that's got the proper naming convention, right? Just that kitchen scene with your stuff in it. So as I'm grading, I know whose file I got. And let's actually jump over to here. So you can see we got our root file. This example actually came from June. References, different milestone folders, scenes. This file here is actually part of the grading process. We can go ahead and scoop that out. Source images, right? All the normal maps named appropriately. You have to have the name in a way that Maya knows. Otherwise, when I load your file, it's not going to be able to find it. Self-assessment sheet completed. And that workspace done. Alright, so back in here, go ahead and hit start. It's going to load the file and ask me for the term ID. Can you tell me the term ID for this one? Awesome. Easy, that's it. Yeah, this file came from 1706, so I'm just going to go ahead and enter 1706 in this case. This loads it in. Let's look at the professionalism. Can you notice anything there? Did I grade that? What was that? Yeah. Professionalism is automated. Right? There's no reason I should have to go in and try to find your pivots because Maya knows where all your pivots are better than I do. Right? So all the professional stuff occurs automatically. We need to make sure every node in your scene is in line. Now the only catch here is it's currently defaulting to 90, so if it's 90, it's 100. But you notice professional and the buckets are basically on and off, right? Pivot centers. You either pivoted or you either centered them or you didn't. Really not a lot of middle ground. Right? History deleted, you either did or you didn't. Same thing kind of changed. File name is also automated. It is case sensitive, so when you go to name it, what I would do is just copy the name from the portal, paste it in your file, change last name and first name to your last name and first name. Then you know it's going to be exactly right, right? No room for deviation there since you just copied it straight from the portal. Self-assessment sheet and reference. You know, normally I'd open this up and take a look at it. Let's go ahead and do that. See here, student feels like they did pretty well. Right, they got all the props, they feel pretty confident here. You know, this is probably a little bit overconfident, but looks like they tried. And they include their reference. So go for that time. So they gave themselves 100 on everything in professionalism. That's pretty close, right? They just missed object names and pivot centered. You know, a couple off. Pretty good. All right. So before I actually start grading the art and technical, I actually have to set the project because our tool currently doesn't do that. Down the rabbit hole. And I'm going to reload the file real quick so it actually pulls in those normal values. Alright, so here is the file. Now when it comes to things like the normal maps, if I set your project to know what you're seeing, and they don't load in, are they there? Do they count? Right? If your boss gets your files and goes to import and load your content, and your textures don't load, your normal maps don't load, and they render it, they're not going to be very happy with it. So you want to make sure they're in the folder, right, in that source images. Maya's looking for them in that folder. We can actually go over, kind of verify that real quick. Alright, so it's going to come through here, turn on just my mouse before. Now let's see if we can't figure out where Maya's looking for these textures. Here we got a little owl. Let me go to my attribute editor. Can you tell me the hotkey for the attribute editor? Yeah, control it. I'm going to scroll across the top until I get to my material. Would have been nice if it wasn't being Lambert 10, but I'm going to roll with it. Come down to our bump mapping. Click on that little box. You can see right here. Notice how it says source images, cookie jar bottom render.pga. So if it's just looking at my source images, I know it's coming from the project. I can't tell you how many times I open this and it says, you know, Sally student / desktop. It's not going to find it there because I can't see your desktop. So you just double check it, make sure it's coming from here. If you don't know if it is, once you move the file, just hit the little folder and then just select it from that source images folder. As long as you set it from there, it's going to know when I load it up on mine. All right, so this was from back when we were doing 4 prompts instead of 3. But it looks like we've got a steak, a pork chop, some cake, and a cookie jar. So in the interest of brevity, I'm not going to sit here and grade every prompt, but we'll just look at one as a group. So which one would you like to look at?
The cake.
The cake? All right, let's take a look at that cake. And let's just cycle some of this stuff off, so it's a little bit easier to see. So here's the cake. Primary and secondary forms are basically going to be, how does it look in 5, right? Shaded. Without the normal map, does it look like a cake? Right? How do we feel about these shapes? What do you think? Pretty good? Would be nice if they softened the normals. I'm sure that issue showed up in the normal map. But corners aren't overly hard. Honestly, the biggest concern we see with the cake is that it's this perfectly flat triangle, which cakes definitely are not. So it looks like a triangle. What if you had to put a number on it? Is this an A, a B? What are we thinking? 100, 95, 80? 90. 90? Still pretty good about 90. Go ahead, come up here. Yeah, 95, that's close enough. You can come up here and let's dial this value up or down if you need to. You know, something like this. I feel like they did pretty good. There's no specific comments, but if there was something I needed to call out, we can always comment down in our comments. Provide some specific feedback. All right, tertiary details. Can you tell me what that is? What am I looking at?
Like ZBrush level.
Yeah, it's the normal map. So graded primary and secondary, I'm going to hit 5. Shaded view, so I don't see the normal map at all. When I get to tertiary, I'm hitting 6, so I can see that normal map. We can see how that detail looks. If we zoom in here real close, you can see there's some real subtle, is that reading up there? Real subtle, high frequency detail for the cake. Of course, it doesn't really read once you get back from any appreciable distance. Check out these cherries. Really nothing going on there. Got some frosting, some drippings. How do we feel about that?
90.
90? Feeling those 90s?
I think
Everyone
I'd
think
give it
about
an
90-ish?
80.
Right, it's pretty
85.
good. Definitely
I'll give it an
some room for
85.
improvement.
Because look at those cherries, they're too
Honestly, the best thing here, I think, is if they took the high frequency of the cake, just made it a little bit more aggressive, so you can see it.
perfect. It's like you just take like
Especially 90, and then you want it.
I told you. No, that's 85. You're gonna have to.
Good detail.
Okay, you see that you're like wheel
And we'll leave my things with this. Alright, so for proportionate scale and placement in the layout, we're looking at everything in this case. Right? Primary and secondary, it's only going to be looking at your week 4, right? Milestone 4. But for scale and placement, we're going to be looking at how everything fits in the scene. So this is going to be a case of, is your table the size of a table? Now I'm not going to go in there and measure and be like, well, tables are only 3.5 feet. Yours is 3 feet 8 inches. Like, I'm not that concerned. As long as it looks right, it is right. So,
Oh wait.
let's just look. We got proportion and scale. How do we think about the proportion of the props here? Fan's probably a little bit large. Any other concerns? What's that? That chair's a little bit small. So there's definitely a little bit of room for improvement here. Just fly over here and kind of take a look at some of these things.
I hate that part.
You know, I'm not an expert on toaster size or coffee carafe size or anything like that. That all looks pretty decent to me.
You know,
Right,
that
nothing there
toaster
jumps
is
out
actually,
and says
I
like,
have
whoa,
never had
like,
a
what's
toaster
going
that
on
was
here?
like, what size my lab is, the toasters can be pretty freaking huge.
Cookie jar might be a little bit large. And there's that cabinet behind it.
That cookie jar
But
is
it's
huge
really
and
big
it's
cookie jar.
spot.
It's not so large that it really
because
jumps
it's
out of
on
them.
the-
Back here, it just seems a little odd that it wouldn't fit the cabinet. But it might. But I think the big critiques for this one are the chair's a little bit small. Fan's a little bit large. We're going to put a number on it. 85. 85? Coming off that 90.
Yeah, 85.
Feeling 85?
You know what?
Pretty
80.
satisfied with that?
80 just to spike the person.
You know, honestly, in this case,
That's
it's one of those, it looks like they're trying,
no.
they still have a little room to grow.
This guy already done his grading, right? You're not actually grading his project.
Yeah, no, this was graded 6 months ago.
He said 1706, man. Where were you? He said 1706. That was a good year.
Alright, so placement
I
and
want to
layout
agree.
comes in 2 flavors. So we
Comes
have,
in 2 flavors.
are the objects positioned in the scene in a way that makes sense? You know, is your skillet floating or sunk halfway through the
Makes no
counter?
sense. Why the hell is that chair in front of the fridge?
And then also,
You know what? Maybe
Did
put
you
some
use your
dish and maybe
space
stick
in a
my chair with the
way
cookie jar. That makes
that's
sense.
interesting.
That makes sense.
Or you just import everything and call it
That
done.
makes sense. But you know what
So the
though?
first thing I do here is
Yeah, no.
kind of fly around.
Whoa, look at that.
Let's just see, we got
Oh
everything
my god, I hate that.
floating or really penetrating too much.
Whoa.
Can we see that?
Uh-oh. That's a poltergeist right there.
Nice little hover plate. Right?
65. Right there.
So that's the first thing I'm looking for.
65.
Now, if you've got to
Wow, this person could really shoot.
kind of choose between either floating or interpenetrating,
It's
just a little bit, which way do you think is better? Penetrating. Do we know why?
Because at least it sits on the counter.
What's that?
It's just eating.
Because you just visually.
So it does visually look better.
But the shadows react better.
Awesome. The shadows are going to give it away. As soon as you light render your scene, if it's floating a little bit, that contact shadow is going to be shifted to make everything look really weird. But if you just sink it in just a little bit, that contact shadow is going to be right where that interpenetration occurs.
Not fall far back.
And
Fall
it'll
to
look a
the
little bit. See, it has to go one way or another.
Sit in this chair
A
to
little
break it
bit
like this.
I
interpenetrating
don't
better.
know.
Yo, I'm almost tempted to tell you guys what that is.
Alright, so for the most part, it looks like most things are pretty well placed, right? Aside from that weird hover plate.
Wait, what is that?
That's the
How do we feel about them filling up the scenes? Making
What
it
did you say?
interesting. Yes, Metaphor? Right? What's that?
this
That bottom cabinet closest to us is empty.
this is just ridiculous.
So for the most part, they look like they put a lot of time kind of focusing on the counter, which is good, right? They did some stuff. But the room itself is bare. How many people have a kitchen with one chair in?
Not me.
You Kyle lists a lot, right?
Mine is interesting though. My chair is toppled over. I have a fork and a toaster. You cannot come in.
It could be. It could be, the chair could be small because it's a kid's chair. And if we look, as you noticed,
Or
there's a
midget.
little bit of an area going on here. Right? So over here we got a chair.
Yeah, the person's a
Maybe the
midget.
kid's trying to come up there to get the cookie jar, which might
Don't
sell.
even mind.
Why the chair is small.
No, that's when you have to take
And then
one
over
of
here
the
we've
fridge
got what
doors
looks to be
and step on it.
Oh,
So then you trip and
Assumably
fall
a
back
parent
and
or guardian
hit
cookie.
your neck
Maybe the
and
kid's trying to
paralyze
steal a
yourself.
cookie while the parent is cooking. That being said,
Yep.
I think it probably makes less sense that there's only one chair if it's a kid's chair. Does this kid live alone?
Home Alone.
Would it be, to kind of counteract that, or to kind of press that home, don't you think that it'd be a good idea to have like a bigger chair?
Yes.
So
Yes, I
that-
do.
Just for like height comparison?
Yeah, it would be nice if there was something in the scene to go like, okay, that's a kid's chair. You know, we looked at this, and
Why the
if
hell
that,
would
if that
kids
chair
chair in the
wasn't a
kitchen?
cookie jar,
Put that back in your pivot.
everyone just goes, it's a weird small chair. Not that it's a kid's chair.
It's
So it would be nice if there was maybe some bigger chairs or something to help sew that narrative. You know, at the end of the day, when you show people your artwork, you might be there to defend it, but if you have to defend it,
That's when you just
you're not doing a good job of making the artwork, right? Your work is standing for itself.
Yeah, like my
So
shoes.
if we all look at it and be like, that's a weird
Yeah,
chair,
yours
they
looks
didn't do a
like
very good
somebody
job of
ran
executing on
something.
that idea.
Yeah,
That
like
idea was
the
good. We
wine
kind of
cup
dig
is
in
on
and figure it out. Oh,
Like,
it's
that's
probably a
like
kid's
full
chair that's
coffee
trying to get cookies.
filled with
You know,
the
eventually we
soup,
can get there.
coffee.
But hopefully, you set it up so that we don't
I'm
have to
gonna
try to
shove
dig
the
and work to get
knife
it.
into my stomach.
You can get there just straight away.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put
Alright, so what do we think about placement of layout? We gotta put a number on it.
65.
Nah.
40.
I give him a C,
Like
like a
that?
76.
75?
No.
75 is probably a little bit
I
low, I
spilled
think.
it.
For the most part.
No.
80, 79.
Yeah, so
That,
something here.
no, it's so
Cedar Rock
bland.
Green, I feel like that's a pretty good job. Postings are placed appropriately. It looks like they tried.
It would be more
They could've
interesting
done it a
if
little
like
better,
the ceiling
but overall,
fan was
pretty
like
solid.
plus the floor, just like
Yeah.
dismantled. Yeah, man.
Alright, let's go back
Oh my
to.
gosh, what if you like model the body and you put the
Just our
ceiling
mouse
fan
on
like
floors.
the part on top of the head?
Oh.
That'd be hilarious.
Look
I
at
would
that
do
cake
that.
still.
I would do that.
Okay, I wonder how they make those. That's what I'm struggling
We got edge flow and appropriate geometry.
The kick is the only good thing.
How do you feel about that?
Satisfactory.
What's that?
Satisfactory.
Pretty solid?
Yeah.
Are there any complaints about the edge flow and appropriate amount of geometry here?
Satisfactory.
now. Freaking plate for big bevel.
That plate looks like
For the most part, how do we feel about those
that's a
chairs?
Dollar Tree plate.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
It's like one of those Christmas plates that you get.
Those
Chairs
cheesy
are
plates,
all
like they
this.
just.
They're super small in the scene, right? Not to mention, there's no detail, it's just a sphere. So honestly, shut that off.
Kick is satisfactory.
Do you think you need a 20 by 20 sphere to make that little chair?
Before you came out.
You know, and I hate to say it, but we actually see the 20 by 20 cherry a
I
lot.
look at a cake and
If you make a cherry, just dial down the segments. You don't need it. Once you soften the normals, it's going to look the same. Other than that, the cake itself, I think, is actually a really solid use of the color. Alright, we got a basic grid. If you really wanted to push it, we could make it lighter. That's in a pretty good spot for MCR. Pretty happy with this. Alright, so let's put a number on it.
I'm happy with it. I give him an A.
Give it a 90.
Really?
Give it a 90.
90?
Give it a 90. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Goes, of course, it's pretty solid. And then usually I'd be like,
Nah. If that cake were bad though, I'll be like freaking like the scene, the guys from the Math.
alright.
Oh,
The plate is
that place
mediocre.
sucks.
What do you think?
Oof, no,
No.
terrible. Terrible. That's a 65 right there.
The cake could have had multiple parts because each layer is a separate piece of cake.
Yeah, the cake definitely could
That
be
that
multiple
cherry,
parts.
that
But
cherry.
with the cake, I don't have a must-have one way or another. Just like with the steak, if you were to make this the best cake possible, you would definitely do it in separate parts. Since we're doing ZBrush,
Yeah,
I'm not going to push that too much.
65. The cherry.
This is the part that kind of gets me.
That's a perfect cherry. That's not shit.
Are cherries and stem a single piece?
No.
And it's an easy get, just take that and extract, right? But realistically, I think this is pretty solid.
It's too round.
You could melt it in separate parts, right? One mesh for the frosting, one for the cake, one for the center
In
frosting.
the picture
rinse
they're
and
round,
repeat.
I understand, but
Well, you know what make them look round? The gel. You know this like
the
Where the
one
cake
that I have, they're
goes
round.
off the rails the most
because
is
the
if you
gel.
model
It makes it
cherries
look round.
into the frosting,
Actually, I saw
and that's the one
indents
part.
yours.
Yeah,
That's
and then
definitely where
When
you start to like, wait a second.
things, there's an indent.
So what do we think? Let's put a value on it.
Overall,
that plate sucks.
See, what do we think?
88.
80.
88.
See because of that plate.
I'm pretty good about it. Let's go, I don't know, somewhere around there.
88. Alright.
Alright, problem geometry. How do you think I find problem
Gonna
geometry?
make like freaking DeLorean from Back to the Future and say 88.
No. There's just a sphere with the top. Hold on.
I'm gonna talk to that person and be
The
like,
cherry is pretty
you were still
lazy.
making these plates. Aggie.
Yeah.
Alright, so problem geometry. How do you think I find this?
Cleanup tool.
Beautiful. Cleanup tool. So, if everything was done well,
You know, Back
I
to
hope
the
it
Future.
is.
You're gonna love it. Have you ever seen that?
grading the problem geometry is super easy. I literally pull the cleanup tool, select the meshes, right? So this is
So you get the
four.
reference.
Clean up.
So you get the reference.
Yeah.
Deselect it. What kind of grade do you think that is?
I don't wish that in
That's a 100.
Yeah, 100.
Where problem geometry gets annoying is when I run it and it doesn't deselect it, and I can go in and find what's wrong with it.
I have problems.
How many of that thing is wrong with it?
Fix. Fix.
And then for these,
Fix.
by far the biggest thing I see is concave faces on your sculpted meshes. So if you ended up going into ZBrush and took it, you like push and pull really hard, probably have some concave faces. Alright. Let's take a look at some collage UVs. Pull this up.
Oh, that's bad.
How does UVs look?
Where's the book?
Solid blue.
I don't know why it's called that.
The triangle parts are touching the corner there.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff touching, right? We got the quarter, we got overlapping. You see this circle with this rectangle and circle on top? Do you know what that is?
Is that the plate?
That is the plate. Those are default cylinder UVs. Two circles with a rectangle in the middle. That means that this person made the plate,
Did it even run these?
didn't even UV it.
Wow.
Right? You got some weird thing going on here.
That's
The
bad.
cake itself looks pretty good. Right? Occupies the 0-1 space. You know, seems nice and clean.
So the plate is part of the cross.
So everything that's associated with that prop needs to fit in single 0-1 space. So and here's the catch here. If I might freak out on me.
That's when you take the cake,
Alright, so
go in
if
the trash
I
can and just throw it inside.
have only milestone 4 on, everything in that milestone 4 layer should be UV. Is there any life hack we can do to get around this? Put a plate out of milestone. And put a where, guys?
Just you look at
What is it? You could put in extras, or if you did the place setting, you have a plate, right?
Yeah,
So then it's in whichever week the place setting is in.
I did.
But if it is in your milestone 4, it better be UV. And in this case, if I said how many props
I'm
are
done with
here,
my
you're like, ah, pork chops,
I just need to
cake,
go
that
back
plate is obviously
and
part of
put
the
it
cake.
into
So then it needs to fit the single reserve 1 space.
tell my story. Go and tell my story. Run.
So that's back into here. So plate's obviously goofy, right? We got stretching, we got overlapping. Cake itself pretty solid. What's that look like?
Wow.
What's that? That's a default sphere. This cherry had no consideration. They're just like, whatever, make a sphere and we're done. No, it's part of the cake. The plate you can kind of cheat and put it with your place setting. There's no way those cherries don't belong with that cake. So they should fit in single 0 to 1 space. And honestly, they're so small, it's going to tuck them in. There's plenty of room here to fit in those cherries and get it to fit. All right, just come in here, just kind of take a look at the stretching, see what we got going on with that. You know, once again, the cake itself, pretty solid. Let's actually adjust our camera so maybe we can get a little bit closer to this this cherry. They're stretching there? Yeah, definitely. What about up here? Right. No consideration there. So anything that's a part of that object needs to be UV, needs to be in a single reserve 1 space. All right. Now let's put a number on it. 60. 60? That's hard.
75.
65?
I'll be more consumed.
70. 70.
79? So
70.
here's how I look at it. So for the most part, the part that needed UVs, they did a pretty good job. They just didn't consider the rest of the pieces. So for the most part, I think this is pretty solid. They just lost the details. So I wouldn't go so hard as a 60 because the normal map works. The UVs for the part that's normal map looks good, so it's functional. If they were only going to render this and show somebody, it works. Just those details for what we're asking kind of fell to the works. So we're gonna go, I don't know, 79 sounds pretty solid. Then of course I'd come through here and be like, hey, it's overlapping. What's up with the plate? What's going on with the cherries? Like that kind of stuff. Alright, professional we already looked at. We got level of completion. Alright, so for level of completion, assuming everything's in there, it's a pretty quick and easy get. I'm just counting. You can see here, I have everything but the instructor made stuff visible. Coming to the outliner. So milestone 4. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get a little bit small, let's go ahead and make that a little bigger. Milestone 2. Now, for this month, it's 3 props. For this month up here, it was 4. So just count. They got 4. They got 4. That's good. Milestone 3. Once again, it was 4 for that month. It's 3 for this month. It's going down the line and counting. Open the outliner. See what's in there. That's how many we're looking for. Make sure they're actually in there. Right? I want to see it's actually in the scene. And then I want to take into consideration whether or not they completed those ZBrush prompts. Right? In this case, they did. So that's 100. Right? They got all the ZBrush prompts. They got all their earlier milestones. And notice I'm not driving in and going like, well, how good is the oven really? It's in there. There's no question that's an oven for this, you know, it's not just a cube. So it's fine. You know, you already got graded on that. I'm not going to go in there and bust your chops to make sure that everything's spot on. As long as it's considered in the scene, you're fine. Alright, I just hit next. Outputs the file. And now we got our friendly little text doc. You can see this literally just breaks down. Art grade. And it was an 89. There's all the feedback we gave.
Oh,
My typos and everything. Technical. Just goes down the grade tool. Bam, 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 bam. That's what you're going to get in the portal. So it's going to break down everything that I've gone through. Hopefully make sure that you know why you got what you got. That being said, if you don't, just contact me. We can sit down, talk about it, go over it, it's fine. Alright. What do you think? Are there questions on this?
You have to put like everything in, so like if you do the place setting, you have to put every single piece.
You mean every single piece of the place setting? Yeah, so like the knife, the fork, the whatever the four objects, whatever you chose to do from that prompt, put them all in. Okay? Cool. Any other questions? What do you think? Alright. That actually went much faster than you. Alright, so let's shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about how we can actually take our stuff. You can make something cool, right? At the end of the day, modeling an oven is all fine and dandy, but if you can't show anybody, you get nowhere with it. So go ahead and load up your kitchen scene. If you have milestone 4 prompts, you can put them in there, that's fine. If not, we can kind of wait on that to actually capture the pictures. But what we're going to be doing is trying to capture some still lifes, some nice compositions from within your scene. Hopefully something that tells a story. Like in our test file here, we had the child trying to steal the cookie and the parent cooking. So place your objects in the scene in a way hopefully that's interesting. Nobody wants to see a perfectly placed table with perfectly placed chairs and that's it. It's kind of boring, right? And if you want to download the thing off the portal, it's just this, just some references of still life. So while we're trying to consider our camera shot, it's a few things I want you to kind of keep in mind. How does whatever you're trying